Donc je retourne à la maison.
This unsettling story centers around a young girl who many believe to be possessed. For months, she has remained in a disturbing state that no priest, spiritual healer, or medical professional has been able to resolve. Her appearance has changed drastically. Her face now carries an eerie, almost unnatural look. Her teeth appear sharp and otherworldly, and her eyes have a glossy, haunting sheen that unnerves anyone who sees her. Her behavior is just as alarming. She often screams, seemingly in pain or terror, with outbursts that are both unpredictable and deeply disturbing to those around her. Her cries send shivers down the spines of onlookers, adding to the growing fear within her community. Despite desperate efforts by her family, who have tried everything from religious rituals to medical interventions, no solution has been found. In one clip, a man is seen praying for her, attempting to cast out whatever may be tormenting her. But as he continues, she repeatedly screams, "Shut up," her resistance growing stronger. The ritual doesn't appear to work, leaving her family and the community in a state of fear, confusion, and hopelessness. While some are convinced she is possessed by a demonic entity, pointing to her altered appearance and terrifying actions as proof, others believe there could be a medical or psychological explanation for her condition. The mystery remains unsolved, leaving everyone divided on what they've witnessed. What do you think? Is this a case of possession or something science could explain? In ancient times, animals were believed to be double or triple their current size, as fossil records of massive creatures like the megalodon shark and prehistoric mammals suggest. The reduction in modern animal sizes has been attributed to environmental changes, adaptations, and evolutionary processes. However, a video has surfaced that might indicate the existence of creatures that have seemingly avoided these changes. In the footage, a massive crab claw is discovered. For scale, when a person places their hand next to it, the claw is over 3 times the size of their hand. While intriguing, it's also alarming. If the claw is this large, the crab it belonged to could be the size of a boat or even a ship. If this discovery is genuine, it raises the question of what other giant creatures might still exist. We're still grappling with the idea of Bigfoot being real. And now there's this, a big crab. This footage was taken on Christmas Island, and what you're looking at is not ants, but millions of crabs migrating from the water onto the island. These crabs are so small that they might look like spiders at first glance, but they are crabs. Christmas Island is famous for this incredible natural phenomenon. Millions of red crabs migrate yearly from the forest to the ocean to spawn. During this migration, the crabs cover the island, turning roads, beaches, and even people's yards into a sea of moving red. In the footage, you can see them swarming over every available surface. Despite their small size, their sheer numbers create an almost surreal scene. It's as if the ground itself is alive and moving. It's a fascinating and slightly eerie sight, as these tiny creatures seem to overwhelm everything in their path. The crabs are driven by a strong instinct to reproduce. They leave their burrows in the forest and head toward the sea to lay their eggs. This mass migration is triggered by the onset of the rainy season, which provides the moist conditions they need to survive the journey. Mystical creatures are considered magical because they're not supposed to be accurate, but then footage like this emerges, leaving everyone puzzled and questioning what they believe. Check out this footage showing what appears to be a centaur. A woman is lying on the ground with the lower body of a horse, while 2 people stand over her. For those unfamiliar, a centaur is a mythical creature featuring a human's upper body and a horse's lower body. This figure has been part of folklore and mythology for centuries. It's astonishing to see such a creature in what seems to be a modern, real-world setting. While it's tempting to believe it's real, the most plausible explanation is that the footage results from modern visual effects or intricate costumes. What are your thoughts? We've encountered strange creatures before, but none quite like this. The first thought that crossed my mind when I saw it was Spider-Man in the black Venom suit, but that's fiction. This is supposedly real life. After a few seconds, I saw the rest of the creature, at least half of it, and I have to say, it's not what I anticipated. It looks like an ant, yet at the same time, it doesn't. I wanted to believe it's real, but something about it feels like it's from AI. Do you sense that too, or am I just being a skeptic? In the frozen wilderness of Russia, someone discovered a heartbreaking sight. 3 mountain goats, their bodies overtaken by the unrelenting cold. This harsh reality is especially striking, considering the temperatures can drop to a brutal 58 degrees below average near Un. The area is remote, with only 500 to 900 residents as of 2018, known for its extreme cold and not quickly welcoming human settlement. Now, we understand why. As for the mountain goats, they unknowingly met a fate as harsh as the freezing winds around them in their search for refuge from the biting cold. A sobering reminder of the unforgiving nature of life in these frigid landscapes. Or, this is just an impressive piece of taxidermy. Check out this clip. It shows what looks like a humanoid and a monstrous dog, seemingly embarking on some kind of adventure. The clip appears to be filmed at night, though the location isn't disclosed. Given the creature's nature, the first thing that comes to mind is the dogman. It could have been a black bear, but I don't think that's true. As for the dogman, it's typically known as a more aggressive cryptid, but there's no sign of aggression here. That leaves me wondering what's happening. Some people think it's all a hoax, suggesting it could be a man in a suit filmed by his friends, aiming for their moment of fame. I'm starting to lean toward that theory. One person even joked that it was a wrong Chinese experiment, and others laughed it off. What do you think? After a tsunami struck Japan, an unusual creature was found on the shores. It looked like a jellyfish, but had no tentacles and a pinkish hue. When flipped over with a stick, an opening was revealed, and its surface felt sticky. Adding to the strangeness, someone poured a bottle of Coke on the creature, causing it to emit white fluids. What could this mysterious being be? Could it be a deep-sea inhabitant or a newly discovered species? While kayaking, a man noticed something unusual in the ocean, a long, strange-looking creature in the water. Curious, he used his paddle to lift part of it for a closer look. At first, he thought it might be some kind of eel, but it turned out to be something completely different. The creature was actually a group of transparent organisms all connected together. After doing some research, he found out it was called a siphonophore. A siphonophore looks like one organism, but it's actually made up of many smaller animals called zooids.
What the?
These zooids are all clones of each other and work together to keep the whole chain alive. Each zooid has a specific job, like helping with feeding or moving. By working together, they can propel the chain through the water. This particular siphonophore was fascinating to watch. Its clear, barrel-shaped bodies let light shine through, creating a shimmering effect as it moved. The zooids were lined up in an orderly pattern, drifting gently with the ocean currents and working together in harmony to navigate the vast waters. This video shows a tall, partially visible tree and a peaceful view of the scenery and the setting sun. However, something unusual happens. A humanoid figure appears to float in midair. The figure moves effortlessly, almost as if attempting to match Jesus' feat of walking on water. After hovering for a while, the figure disappears behind some houses. While it's unlikely to be Jesus Christ, it raises the question, what exactly did we witness? Could there be powerful beings among us? Is this person just a local returning home after some secret heroic deeds? It's difficult to say, but this occurrence is strange and intriguing. What do you think? We often recognize plants as living organisms. They eat, grow, and die. However, unlike humans and animals, they lack mobility, as their roots keep them anchored in the soil. Walking plants aren't supposed to exist, or so I believed until I saw this footage. Someone observed a tree in their backyard seemingly uproot itself and leave. Remarkably, there are no signs of ropes or machinery pulling it out. In another clip, a farmer is tending to his small plants when, suddenly, the plants take off on their own. It's reminiscent of the Ents from J.R.R. Tolkien's Middle-earth, ancient, tree-like beings capable of walking and talking. Could such fantastical creatures have any basis in reality? If these sightings are authentic, they might reveal an entirely new aspect of plant life that we've we've yet to explore. The ecological and biological implications of plants relocating themselves would be astounding. Of course, there's a chance these clips are fake. When you first watch this clip, the creature looks like a dog, but when you zoom in, it's hard to tell what it actually is. It seems to be part dog, part human. Some people who have seen the clip immediately think, Skinwalker? Looking at it again, you can see why they'd say that. But is it really a skinwalker? Others disagree, claiming it's just a sickly-looking cat. They argue that the cat is the only blurry thing in the footage, while everything else is clear. They also suggest the clip wouldn't have been intentionally blurred if it were a skinwalker. So, after hearing both sides, what do you think? Have you ever imagined what a creature that's part snake, part human might look like? You're about to see, as the person who shared this video claims to have captured such a being. Take a look for yourself. I know the object in the clip is far off on the cliff, but if you focus on it, it does appear to resemble a creature with a long tail, doesn't it? The person who uploaded this video believes it's footage of a being that's part snake, part human. And yes, such creatures are known by different names in various cultures. The Naga in Hinduism, the Bakunawa in the Philippines, and the Chimera in Greek mythology. While part of me wants to believe this clip is an actual capture of one of these beings, something about it feels off. I can't quite place why. What's your take on it? This is the ancient Kalbarev temple. For those unfamiliar, it is a revered sacred site dedicated to Kalbarev, a powerful manifestation of the Hindu deity, Lord Shiva. Kalbarev is depicted as a fierce figure with dark skin, holding a skull, and is revered in Hindu mythology as the ruler of time and death. Devotees honor him as a protector and seek his blessings through prayers and rituals at this sacred temple. During a recent temple tour, someone captured something unsettling on video. Behind the statue at the temple's entrance, a dark entity appeared to poke its head out. Before dismissing it as just a shadow, consider this: shadows don't behave like that, and the space behind the statue is too tiny for a person to hide without being noticed. So, what could this dark figure be? Is it a divine manifestation, a demonic presence, or an elaborate hoax? South Africa has a remarkable feature known as the footprint of God, a massive footprint embedded in granite. The footprint is incredibly well defined, clearly showing the shape of the toes, the arch, and the heel, making it look strikingly similar to a human foot, but on an enormous scale. The sheer size of the footprint suggests that if it belonged to a human-like creature, it would have been many times larger than any known human. Geologists have dated the granite in which the footprint is embedded to be millions of years old, suggesting the print was made long before humans are thought to have existed on Earth. Does this confirm the myths and legends from various cultures that speak of giant beings? It's hard to say, but these stories could have roots in historical events or creatures. What do you think? One night in the Balkans, a resident was abruptly awakened by strange noises in the middle of the night. Feeling curious yet unsettled, he decided to investigate.
Что se ne vidi?
He grabbed a flashlight and headed toward the mountain. As he got closer, a deep sense of fear overwhelmed him. That's when he saw them. Two figures, each about 12 feet tall, standing on either side of a stone pillar. The figures were dark, resembling humans draped in robes with wings extended behind them. They looked like angels, but their presence was eerie, almost otherworldly. The man managed to capture some footage, and when he shared it online, it quickly went viral. Many viewers believe the figures were angels. Their towering forms and wings matched descriptions. However, others offered a darker interpretation, speculating they might be fallen angels or sinister entities. Have you ever had one of those moments where you wish you had more security cameras to capture different angles of something that came to your yard? Well, this is one of those times. This clip, captured by a home security camera, clearly shows something small. Not just a little, but a lot. Can you think of any creatures that match this description? Have you ever heard of the duende? These creatures, often called forest dwellers, are believed to be tiny humanoid beings. Like many cryptids we've discussed, they are rarely spotted, and claims of their existence are often met with skepticism. Watching this footage, I'm leaning toward believing it could be genuine. It looks natural and doesn't seem to have been edited. What would have made it even more convincing is footage from a different angle. But as they say, if wishes were horses, beggars would ride, right? A man woke up in the middle of the night to use the bathroom when he noticed something strange in his backyard. A coconut tree stood in the distance, stripped of all its leaves and branches, leaving only a long, bare trunk. However, the unusual sight perched at the top of the trunk caught the man's attention. A goat-like creature sitting at the peak. Coconut trees are known for their great height and smooth trunks, making them nearly impossible to climb. Nothing around could assist any creature in reaching the top, yet there it was, sitting there. What made the sight even more unsettling was that the man had no animals, no goats or pets. He considered waking his family, but hesitated, unsure if they would believe him or if there was anything they could do. The creature remained there for an eternity, though it was likely only a few minutes. For some odd reason, he returned inside and somehow fell asleep. The following day, he went outside to investigate, but the creature was gone. There were no tracks, no signs of how it got there or left. The only remnant of the creature's visit is this clip, though not many believe it's authentic. What do you think? We often hear about rare medical cases of children born with 2 heads and 1 torso, a fascinating phenomenon. But have you ever wondered if similar occurrences might happen in the animal kingdom? Let this clip speak for itself. Recorded by a woman who was utterly amazed at the footage, it captures a deer peacefully grazing on grass. The sight was serene, beautiful, and therapeutic. She decides to film the whole thing, but she notices something astonishing. The deer she's filming has 2 heads and 1 torso. While it's difficult to fathom, this isn't the first such phenomenon. There have been records of similar occurrences in the animal kingdom. As she ponders the mystery, she soon realizes there's no mystery. The footage is nothing but the result of a visual illusion. There are 2 deer in the picture, but the positioning of the 2 animals and the perspective of the trail cam capturing the image make it look like one creature. But imagine a 2-headed deer. The sight and thought of it is wild, right? While exploring an abandoned house, a man came across this strange sight. While exploring an abandoned house, a man came across a strange sight. As he peered into a small crevice in the wall, he was met with a creepy human-like eye staring back at him. The eye had a yellowish tint, surrounded by black, fur-like skin, making it look unnervingly strange. The man couldn't tell if it was a cryptid or something else, but he was too scared to investigate further. He quickly left and shared his footage online. Some believe it could be a cat, but what do you think it might be? Not every day you see someone doing what this lady is doing. I'm unsure if you can see, but that woman eats raw fish. The person who sent this in thought she was eating a pigeon, but no, it's raw fish. Not that it makes it any better. As expected, the internet had its say, with several people stating there's nothing wrong with this. The big question, however, is that true? One person, for example, thinks it's no different from sushi, and many agree with him. What do you think? Fritz was in Japan with her family on a night out, taking a stroll with her husband and 2 sons. The boys were standing by a sturdy tree while their father filmed them when he suddenly noticed something unusual in the video. On one of the boy's legs, a pale hand appeared, gripping him from behind. The boy didn't seem to notice. It didn't affect him, but his father saw it. In a panic, he rushed over, but by the time he reached the boy, the hand had disappeared. He searched around the tree, but found nothing. The comment section flooded with theories when Dark Secrets shared the video. One commenter suggested it could be an ashwang, but traditionally, ashwangs have floating heads and no hands. Another theory was that it was a duende, a mischievous spirit. Others speculated it could be an entity connected to the tree, attaching itself to the boy. Given Japan's rich folklore and history of eerie encounters, could this be one of those cases? Take a look at this and see if anything seems off to you. Did you catch it? What do you think you saw? The original poster believes a demonic or spiritual entity floated upward, and once it was out of sight, a dark winged figure appeared and moved across the sky. They also thought the figure might have transformed or been taken by something darker. It looks like a catman from across the street is climbing some bushes, possibly startling an owl or bird that flew off. What do you think? A man was sitting at home one night behind his computer, filming when his camera captured something eerie at the window behind him. It seemed the man saw it too because he quickly got up and went outside to check if what he saw was still there. But by the time he got there, it was gone. Now I know what you're wondering, what he saw. Let's take a closer look at the footage in slow motion. It was a large, pale, alien-like head with huge black eyes, peering right into the room through the glass window. As soon as the man noticed the creature, it swiftly vanished. The sighting lasted only a few minutes, but was enough to leave a lasting impression. The creature's face was unmistakable, smooth, almost featureless, except for those enormous black, unblinking eyes. The man's reaction was immediate and understandable. Seeing something strange and unsettling would send anyone rushing to investigate. Yet, when he stepped outside, the mysterious figure disappeared, leaving no evidence of its presence. Some find his filming a bit too convenient, leading them to believe this footage is fake. What do you think? In this footage, a man is seen bent over a river, waving his hand in the water as a giant creature approaches from below. It looks like a giant crocodile to me, though I'm unsure if this is a death wish or something else entirely. The man's bravery, or recklessness, is remarkable if it's a crocodile. Crocodiles are powerful predators, and getting this close to one is incredibly dangerous. On the other hand, if it's just a large fish, the situation changes entirely. Maybe the man knows exactly what's in the water and is simply interacting with a curious but harmless creature. It's tough to say, but what do you think is happening here? We're heading to the peaceful city of Quito in Chile, but before I explain anything, take a look for yourself. What could this be? The truth is, no one knows. It just appeared in the sky out of nowhere and hovered there for several minutes. Multiple people have posted this clip on our paranormal platform, all seeking answers, and I came across a comment that stood out. The person commenting said strange occurrences like this aren't uncommon in Quito. They even claimed there had been reports of people being abducted and tortured by aliens. This is the first time I've heard of such claims, and it's got me wondering, how true is this? And if it is, how many other places worldwide are hotspots for alien activity? Maybe we should look at footage from different continents like Asia, Africa, and Australia. As for the object in the sky, no one can figure out what it was. Some even think it could be a hoax, but what do you think? This fish was spotted in Albania after a heavy snowstorm when the ground was all ice. Despite the freezing conditions, the fish was alive and frozen to death. This sight is even more bizarre because the fish was upright, standing on its pelvic fin. I don't know what's happening here, but the person who took this footage insists that the fish was walking. A walking fish? That's certainly a new one. Seeing a fish moving around on land, especially in such cold weather, raises many questions. How could it survive the icy conditions, and how was it able to move? Fish are aquatic creatures not designed to walk on land, especially on their fins. Experts and curious onlookers have been scratching their heads over this one. Some speculate that fish, like the mud skipper, could move on land using their pectoral fins. Still, those are typically found in warmer climates, not in the icy conditions of Albania. Others suggest that the storm might have displaced the fish and somehow managed to survive out of water. However, its ability to remain alive and move around in such harsh conditions remains a mystery. Could this be a new adaptation or an undiscovered behavior of the species? We often like to believe we've figured out everything about dinosaurs, but the constant discoveries show that there's still so much we don't know.
Just found unfossilized soft dinosaur tissue. Soft dinosaur tissue?
You see soft dinosaur tissue on the screen, which is baffling because dinosaurs have been extinct for millions of years, making it seemingly impossible for their tissue to remain. However, here it is. Fossilized dinosaur skin was found over 20 years ago, sending shockwaves through the scientific community. The prevailing belief has always been that dinosaurs lived around 70 million years ago, and no tissue should be capable of surviving that long. One possibility is that dinosaurs lived more recently than we thought, but many scientists are reluctant to accept this theory. Instead, Instead, they're focused on figuring out how the tissue could have been preserved for an extraordinary time. Ancient cave paintings also depict creatures that resemble dinosaurs, with some being remarkably detailed. This has led some to suggest that ancient people encountered dinosaurs firsthand and represented them in their art. Ancient potteries in Egypt depict long-necked dragons. Similar representations can be found in Roman mosaics, and even in 16th and 17th century coins showing a dragon being slain. If you visit the Grand Canyon, you'll also notice carvings of dinosaurs by Native Americans. While mainstream science tells us dinosaurs lived millions of years ago, the widespread depictions of dinosaurs across various ancient cultures suggest there might be more to the story. What do you think? Could our understanding of dinosaurs be wrong, or are we perhaps overinterpreting these discoveries? An 80-foot-long centipede-like creature. How is this even possible? The paranormal community has been buzzing about this video, and opinions are split. Some believe it's a cryptid, while others are convinced it's edited footage, created with clever CGI or special effects. After seeing it, I'm leaning toward the AI gang on this. However, some viewers can't tell if it's real, and some even suggested it should be killed. An odd reaction unless they think it's real. Share your thoughts. Do you think it's real, or do you agree it's just CGI? A man was driving home one night when he saw something ahead of him in the sky. It was a dark figure floating ominously. The figure didn't look human, just an odd shape of a dark entity suspended in the air. It had an almost translucent look, adding to its eerie appearance. The scared man drove slowly beneath the entity, trying to make sense of what he saw, and then hurried home as fast as he could. Its strange appearance and the way it floated without any visible means of support make it hard to explain away as something mundane. What do you think? This next one is quite disturbing. You may skip ahead if you're sensitive to graphic content.
Just came out of me. I have no clue what the this is, but kind of looks like a...
What you're seeing came from the woman's recording. Don't ask where it came from or how it happened. Just accept that it did. Understandably, she's panicking, which led her to post it online.
This is what is inside of us, and we need to cleanse. You guys don't believe me? This real. These are nano.
She ends up ranting about how we have these things living inside us. It looks like the thing that came from Neo's stomach in The Matrix. The Matrix? Part of me wanted to believe that, but our medical experts weren't concerned. Instead, comma. They were more focused on how strange it was that she posted something like this. Honestly, I'm a little freaked out too. What do you all think? Could this be a parasite connected to The Matrix, or is it something else entirely? Share your thoughts. A bizarre set of remains was found deep in the forest. The carcass is massive, and you can see the ribs. However, the head is alarming. It resembles one of the raptors from Jurassic World. This doesn't look like something fabricated. It's covered in dust and embedded in the forest floor, suggesting it's been there for quite some time. Could these be the remains of a dinosaur? Perhaps one that survived well beyond dinosaurs' extinction, living into more recent times. Just imagine a dinosaur, or something similar, existing in our time. How did it survive? What did it eat? Where did it live? These are questions scientists would be eager to explore. Experts in paleontology and zoology would need to examine the remains closely, analyzing the bone structure and possibly extracting DNA to determine what kind of creature this was. For now, we can only speculate, but one thing is clear. This discovery is extraordinary and requires a thorough investigation. AI is advancing rapidly, so much so that it's becoming harder to tell the difference between AI-generated content and real life. Still, many argue that no matter how advanced AI becomes, it will never fully capture the subtle nuances that make reality so unique. Look at this footage and tell me it doesn't look real. It's a video of a pig underwater, with all 4 legs but with a fishtail. Yes, a pigfish seems very unrealistic, whimsical and bizarre, but just look at the quality of the footage. It looks genuine. The video's attention to detail, such as the way light refracts in the water, and the seamless integration of the pig's body with the fishtail, demonstrates the impressive capabilities of modern AI and CGI technology. Imagine what AI will be able to create in just a few years. If you thought that was strange, brace yourselves because we've got a bird defying all the rules of aviation physics. We know you've seen birds fly, but have you seen them do this? This isn't your average bird flight. No, this bird's got moves that would leave even David Blaine puzzled. The feathered creature takes one step at a time calmly, as if walking on invisible stairs in the sky. Is this some kind of feathered magic? Or is it just an elaborate hoax meant to mess with us? While part of me wants to believe it's possible, it looks edited. It can't be real, or can it? This clip was quite an unusual Facebook Live video.
That's my backyard. Put in a little piece. This is the exact spot that I just saw. That's the exact spot now. That's my backyard. I'm zooming in a little piece. This is the exact spot that I just...
This young lad was home alone when he noticed strange, unusual happenings. It felt like someone was there with him, but that shouldn't have happened. He called several times to see if anyone was around, but received no response. Feeling freaked out, he went live on social media and began sharing his experience. At that moment, whatever was moving around his property decided to sneak across his yard. Luckily for him, his camera was facing the direction of the movement, capturing a few seconds of footage, which you can see on screen. Now, the big question, what is that? The simple answer, no one knows. He suspects it might be an unknown cryptid, and based on its size and movement, I'm inclined to agree with that hypothesis. It seems that whatever it is didn't want to be seen and avoided confrontation. Once his friends saw the footage, they rushed to his home to investigate, but they couldn't find anything. They decided to upload the video online to seek answers, and the paranormal community was divided. Some thought it was a demon, others a cryptid, and a small group believed it could be an otherworldly creature. One of the strangest theories came from a user who suggested it was an ostrich. Some even argued the entire thing could be fake or CGI. Given the video's quality, it's hard to say without professional analysis. What do you think is happening here? Although the exact details remain unclear, this video was filmed at a facility, or possibly another location. What's certain, however, is that the people featured in it claim to have safely preserved skeletal remains that they believe belong to giants.
This is from an 18-foot person, estimated. Big toe bone, there it is.
That is this part.
Yeah, your very end big toe bone. It's been x-rayed, and this person had broke their toe bone, and then it healed up.
Human finger with a touch of arthritis. And this is the finger. This is this part of the finger. See, it's this, and this.
The first specimen shown is a massive toe bone, which they estimate belongs to a person around 19 feet tall. The size of the bone is staggering, offering a glimpse of the incredible scale these supposed giants would have had. Next, they present a finger bone, specifically the bone of a little finger. The woman in the video explains that they visited a village in Turkey, thought to be the burial site of Noah's wife. For those unfamiliar with the biblical story, Noah is famous for constructing an ark to survive the Great Flood. In the grave, they reportedly discovered 3 sets of bones, which, upon examination by experts, were concluded to form a small finger. Remarkably, the finger bone is larger than the woman's entire palm. This discovery raises intriguing questions about our history and the ancient tales passed down through generations. If these bones truly belong to giants, they might offer physical evidence that supports ancient stories and myths about such beings. Has your dashboard cam ever captured something that left you utterly stupefied? I mean, so shocked that you're entirely tongue-tied. Well, the following footage is sure to leave you feeling exactly that. Take a look. Did you see that? This dashcam footage was captured by an unknown driver on a highway lined with trees, with a tall mountain in the distance. A few seconds into the recording, a small figure appears, trying to cross the road. What is that? Have you ever seen anything like it? If you haven't, you're not alone. We haven't either, and after a thorough research process, we couldn't find anything like it in our paranormal archives. We didn't even know something like that existed. Many in the supernatural community who watched the footage were just as puzzled. While some believed it might might be a paranormal creature. Others wondered if it was something alien, and some even speculated that it could be a glitch in the Matrix. While all these ideas are possible, consider this. What if it's a spirit or a demonic entity? Does that sound too far-fetched? Or do you think we might be dealing with something supernatural? Share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear them. We've got a man exploring a cave mine, believing he was alone, when he noticed something unusual from one of the mine portals. Emerging from the shadows was a humanoid dark figure with a glowing head. Naturally, the internet had a field day with this one. Some commenters quickly dismissed it as just a person with a headlamp. That's the rational explanation, and it makes sense. After all, it does look like an explorer with a high-powered headlamp, which could give off an otherworldly glow in the darkness. But others weren't so sure. They felt there might be something more to it. What if it's not just a headlamp? What if it's something supernatural? Mines and caves have long been the setting for ghost stories and legends. The combination of isolation and the unknown depths makes them perfect breeding grounds for tales of the unexplained. This could be one of them. In this strange situation, a homeowner was shocked when he reviewed the footage from his outdoor security camera. In the dead of night, the camera recorded a nearly naked man standing in front of the house, performing an odd and erratic dance. The situation didn't seem like a prank, but instead suggested the person might be dealing with mental health issues or under the influence of something. It was clear the individual was unsupervised, and their wandering almost naked in the street raised concerns for their safety. Hopefully this person is found and given the help they need. Have you ever encountered something like this? If you have trypophobia, skip this one. You've been warned. Here, we have the fascinating and somewhat eerie sight of a mother Suriname toad. These creatures are unique. What you see is a remarkable example of their distinctive reproductive process. The holes on her back from which the baby toads emerge are part of an extraordinary adaptation. Instead of laying eggs in water like most amphibians, the Suriname toad has developed a method that keeps her offspring safe and close. Here's how it works. The female lays her eggs, and then the male fertilizes them. But instead of leaving the eggs in the water, the male pushes them into her back, where they become embedded in individual pockets. Over time, the skin grows over these pockets, creating a honeycomb-like structure. Inside, the eggs hatch and the tadpoles develop, staying safe and nourished by their mother's body until they emerge as fully formed little toads. This process is not unique, but also a bit unsettling to watch. Seeing tiny toads pop out from the holes in her back might make your skin crawl a little, but it's a brilliant evolutionary strategy, ensuring a higher chance of survival by keeping them protected during their most vulnerable stages. It's creepy yet fascinating. If you think what you've seen so far has been wild and bizarre, get ready to be amazed by the ocean's mysteries. While diving in the waters, this diver came across a pool of water in the sea. I can't wrap my head around how this works. It's messing with my brain. Is this some kind of optical illusion, or is there something more happening here? The ocean is one of the most mysterious places on Earth, with vast areas still unexplored and not fully understood. This could be a phenomenon we're not familiar with. Does anyone have an idea what's going on here? Please share your thoughts in the comments section. A couple, going about their day, stumbled upon a well-preserved limb that didn't match any known animal species. Instead of ignoring it, they took the limb and snapped pictures, intrigued by the possibility that it could be something significant. The woman wondered if they had found the foot of the legendary Bigfoot. Upon closer inspection, though, it didn't seem large enough to be Bigfoot's foot, so they shared the images with others, who suggested it might be the hand or foot of a juvenile Bigfoot. If only there were a way to compare its DNA with other Bigfoot samples. Dr. Melba Ketchum and her team claim to have sequenced DNA from biological samples, including hair and tissue from unidentified hominins like Bigfoot. Maybe they should send the sample to her team for testing and uncover the truth. During a lightning storm, someone captured something incredible in the sky, a shadowy figure resembling a giant. Take a look.
Oh.
A a mysterious figure, cloaked in a robe and holding a stick, appeared and vanished just as quickly as a bolt of lightning lit up the sky. It felt like a moment straight out of a myth or fairy tale. Think about the classic tale of Asterisk Jack and the beanstalk asterisk and its giant living among the clouds. Could beings like that still exist, perhaps in a form we can't fully comprehend? Maybe they inhabit another dimension or realm, visible only under unique conditions, like a flash of lightning. The idea is thrilling and opens up endless possibilities. But let's not forget the times we live in, with AI, deepfakes, and incredibly skilled editing at everyone's fingertips. Could this simply be a prank aimed at the paranormal community? What do you think? Is it evidence of something extraordinary, or just another clever hoax? In this footage, the sky, a canvas of endless intrigue, reveals yet another mysterious craft. Enjoy. Do you see it? Unusual crafts are projecting beams of light into the sky. What's fascinating is that these lights don't stay confined to the crafts. They stretch across the entire visible expanse. Before concluding about this mesmerizing light display, let's consider the possible explanations. It could be an airshow display from an aviation team. While it's unlike anything we've seen, it's still a possibility. Others think it could be dogfighting, planes engaged in aerial combat. If that's the case, it would be dangerous for those filming nearby. With so little context in the footage, it's hard to say what's happening here. What do you think? In the dead of night, beneath the pitch-black canopy of trees, a brave group of adventurers embarks on their mysterious journey. Their breath is visible in the cold air, and the forest darkness intensifies every sound, every rustle of leaves. Armed with matches, their flickering torches barely illuminate the way, casting fleeting shadows as they approach a foreboding cave. Its mouth gapes like a gateway to an unknown, unwelcoming realm. As they near the entrance, the dim light reveals a figure standing sentinel. This strange being, with limbs resembling those of an unknown avian species, lingers at the edge of the unknown. Its intentions are veiled in darkness, moving with a purposeful calm, possibly guarding the secrets hidden within the cave's ancient depths. An unspoken tension hangs in the air, a quiet understanding between the explorers and this enigmatic gatekeeper. Could this be the legendary cave goblin, or perhaps the elusive Tommyknocker, figures from folklore that send chills down the spine? Yes, I did go all Shakespeare on you. Check out that table of pandas having a party. It's hilarious. Look at what the zookeepers have set up for these fuzzy creatures. 4 giant pandas sit on wooden chairs around a table filled with food, happily munching away. It's such an adorable sight to see them with their big, round faces and playful behavior, always bringing a smile to our faces. The zookeepers have arranged a delightful spread of bamboo and other treats, making it look like a proper panda feast. Watching the pandas enjoying their meal is heartwarming, almost like a group of friends. Imagine this. You're in the woods, peacefully napping among the trees, when the sound of rustling leaves nearby catches your attention. Curious, you turn to look, and what you see takes your breath away. But you don't have to imagine it. Take a look at the footage. Among the towering trees stands a massive figure, as tall as the trees themselves, covered in dark brown fur that blends seamlessly with the forest. Now picture realizing you're alone in the woods with something that big. Your heart would skip a beat, just like it did for the uploader who managed to record the moment. He admitted that a lot was racing through his mind as he filmed. If something happened to him, this could be evidence of what caused it. If he made it out alive, he'd have proof of how dangerous that area truly is. Thankfully, he captured the footage. But here's the question, what was it? You don't have to be a paranormal expert to notice the telltale signs. Its height, human-like gait, and fur-covered body. It looks unmistakably like a Bigfoot, but what do you think? Could it really be the legendary creature? Have you ever witnessed 2 giraffes in a fierce battle? In a stunning display of strength and agility, 2 towering giraffes were filmed in a neck-and-neck struggle for dominance. Their long, powerful necks, each composed of 7 vertebrae that measure an impressive 25 centimeters, became their primary weapons. The giraffes used these necks to push and strike each other, showcasing remarkable flexibility and strength. Despite the intensity of the confrontation, their movements almost took on the form of a playful dance, turning the battle into a fascinating fascinating and entertaining spectacle. Who would have thought that something as seemingly simple as a giraffe's neck could be the deciding factor in such a thrilling contest for dominance? A group of friends in Auburn went fishing one day, hoping to relax by the water. However, their peaceful outing took a wild turn when an unexpected creature appeared far from them.
What the God, go!
It was an 8-foot-tall creature covered in brown fur, walking purposefully towards some nearby bushes. The sheer size and presence of the beast left the group in stunned silence for a moment. Then, instinct took over, and they ran straight to their car, hearts racing with fear and adrenaline. Fortunately, one of them had been filming their fishing trip, capturing the mysterious figure on camera. The footage is shaky, but you can see the tall, fur-covered creature moving. Now, the paranormal community is buzzing with excitement. Some locals are eager to check it out, hoping to find the beast. However, others believe friends might have staged the whole thing. What do you think? This video has been circulating the internet for some time now. It is said to have been filmed by a man while he was in Antarctica. The man was out in the snow when he stumbled upon a mysterious cave. Inside, he found a spiral of black and white lines that created a dizzying, almost hypnotic effect. But what could this strange cave be? One popular theory suggests that the cave could be an ancient structure built by an advanced civilization or even extraterrestrial beings. Some others speculate that it might be the site of a secret government project, raising questions about how the man got so close. For years, people have believed that Antarctica hides many secrets, and this could be one of them. Unfortunately, the man didn't venture inside to confirm the theory, so we can only speculate. What might be hidden inside? Conspiracy theories about world leaders have been around for as long as their positions of power. From whispers of clones and robotic doubles to allegations of involvement in unspeakable activities, today we're turning our attention to one of the most feared leaders of our time, Vladimir Putin. Do you notice something unusual about the arms of his bodyguards? They look fake, don't they? It turns out this is common practice for some security agencies. But why? The reason is simple. They keep their real arms hidden, close to their weapons, ready to react at a moment's notice. Cool, right? I mean, it's cool, but also a bit unsettling. Imagine having to live like this just to protect your own life. Trusty old Uncle Ben once said, "With great power comes great responsibility," even if, in this case, the responsibility is simply ensuring no one can harm you. A woman shared a strange encounter she's been experiencing at her home, located near the woods. Occasionally, stray cats show up at her doorstep, and she feeds them. One night, she woke up to hear the cats crying outside. Concerned, she went out to feed them, but what she found was far more unsettling.
Good morning, guys. It is literally 5 a.m. and I opened the back door to put some dry food out for the stray kitties, and there are people feet printed all over my deck in the snow. Okay, I'm gonna open this. I'm not going out there. Do you see this? They start over there. And it like barefoot walks up to the table. There's nothing coming up to the... Maybe there is some coming up to the door. What? And I don't see any in the yard.
She noticed many human footprints on her deck, where there was a thin layer of snow. It looked like a group of people had stood there, with footprints leading from the woods and back into the woods. The prints were human-sized, matching her foot size. Unsure of what to make of it, she went inside and slept. The next day, she posted the footage online. A commenter advised her to contact the police, which she had already done. However, the police said they could do nothing, since there was no break-in. A few nights later, she noticed the footprints again, appearing the same way, coming from and returning to the woods. It was snowing and very late at night. Who would be walking barefoot in the snow, and why were they always coming to her house? Online theories ranged from pranksters to something more supernatural, a ghostly presence, or even a group of people living in the woods. We don't have answers, but she seems to be coping well, even joking with one of the commenters. We hope she remains safe and that everything is as it seems. In this footage, a group of men at sea shows an incredibly bizarre phenomenon, a transparent tube extending from the sky to the water's surface.
Воде просто трындец. Куда вот это заехали? Твою мать, что за наклон? Не знаю, видно нет, эта фигня крутится. Ты вот это не снимаешь? Смерч сраный. Сейчас нас погибать.
The shimmering tube reaching down from the clouds and touching the ocean is a captivating and mysterious sight that has sparked many theories. Some online commenters have suggested that it could be a UFO above the clouds, siphoning water through the tube, possibly for research purposes. While this idea might sound far-fetched, the growing interest in extraterrestrial phenomena and advanced technologies makes such theories intriguing. After all, it's as plausible as any other explanation, given the lack of clear evidence. But could there be a more grounded explanation? Could this phenomenon be some kind of natural occurrence, a rare atmospheric event, or even a military experiment? Without more information, it's difficult to say for sure. What are your thoughts? Do you think this is a misinterpreted natural phenomenon, or does it hint at something beyond our current understanding? Have you ever encountered people and thought they couldn't possibly be real? If so, then this clip is for you.
Wait. Babe, stop cussing. Wait, she's not moving at all.
That's what I'm saying. What is going on?
What is she looking at?
What is she doing?
That's actually really concerning.
Very creepy. I don't know what's going on.
You see it, right? That woman seems frozen in time while everything around her continues to move. It's almost like she's glitching. The people filming are stunned, and others in the parking lot are just as concerned. This has to be a glitch in the Matrix. There's really no other explanation for this, is there? Religion is often viewed as a defense against evil forces. Many believers practice rituals like prayer, attend services, and read sacred texts such as the Bible or the Quran. These actions are believed to offer protection from dark entities, providing spiritual defense and strength.
El Señor esté con ustedes y con tu espíritu.
In 2022, a chilling event unfolded in Chihuahua, Mexico, sparking widespread talk among the locals. People began sharing stories of strange occurrences that left the community feeling unsettled.
El Señor esté con ustedes y con tu espíritu.
During a mass, while the priest was reading from the Bible, a loud, echoing scream suddenly pierced the air, resembling a man's desperate cry for help. The unsettling sound caused the priest and everyone on the podium to turn around, visibly shaken. Although the video doesn't reveal the scream's source, it disturbs the congregation and online viewers. Some speculate it could have been a sign of a tormented soul or a dark entity responding to the sacred reading. Do you believe you were a dead devil or know anyone who is, and would any of you be willing to try this? A lady climbing stairs genuinely deserves the stairway to heaven. I could tell you where this is and why, but let's make it interactive. Who knows where this clip is from and why the stairs look like this? Up next, we head to North Carolina, where a man claims to have seen a cloud that looked heavenly. Take a look. He called it a heavenly cloud, not me. Naturally, once it went viral, everyone had their own theories about what it could be. Some agreed with him, believing it could be of divine origins, while others thought the unusual cloud formation might be alien-related. Looking at it, I think it could be a cloud, but maybe that's just my untrained eye. What do you guys think? Am I the only one who sometimes has random thoughts? I wonder what it would feel like to die from fish or ants. It turns out there's a place where death by fish could be as simple as breathing. Watch how the fish quickly gather around what the man threw into the ocean and gulp it up in just a few seconds. There's no guarantee these fish will eat human meat, but there's also no guarantee they won't. The last thing you'd want is to fall into those waters. If the fish don't get you, those waters look like they could finish the job. Am I just being paranoid, or do you see what I'm seeing? Light orbs are one of the most mysterious phenomena studied worldwide. In this footage, a man on his farm notices a strange orb floating over his cornfield. He approaches it, but the orb floats away, eluding him. These orbs continue to intrigue and confuse people. Some believe they're linked to extraterrestrials, possibly a form of alien technology or presence. Skeptics, however, argue natural occurrences can explain them. Something is unsettling about this footage, though. The orb's deliberate and silent movements over the cornfield and its response to the man by floating away give it an eerie feel. What do you think? This is a type of tarantula with tiny hairs on its legs, which help it avoid breaking the surface tension of the water. In other words, these hairs allow it to walk on water without sinking. The sight is mesmerizing and a little eerie as the tarantula defies nature's laws. The tiny hairs, known as setae, are responsible for this remarkable ability. The spider's dark body and the white spots on its legs give it an almost otherworldly appearance as it glides across the water. However, it's not paranormal, just pure science. If you ever encounter one of these spiders, share your experience. This was supposed to be your typical weather forecast, but something strange appeared on the screen instead. Take a second look. Do you see it? What could this be? Some say it's a bird, but can birds really move that fast and at such sharp angles? Whatever it was definitely moving. Some commenters joked that it might be a Dementor from Harry Potter, while others speculated it could be a glitch in the Matrix. One person even claimed to have seen something similar happen twice before. I'm not entirely convinced, but I'd love to hear your thoughts. What do you think when you watch this? This footage is said to be a real-life UFO. There was no context to it, but it looks genuine. Take a look. A vast, disc-shaped craft was captured, and its classic disc shape recalls many UFO sightings reported over the years. The lack of context only adds to the mystery. Where was this filmed? Who recorded it? Unfortunately, we don't have answers. However, in the original post's comments, someone mentioned, "We're not exactly sure where he got this information from, but there can only be two possibilities. Either he's trolling us badly, or he's actually onto something." While in the woods with a friend tending to some dried plants, a man started filming and panning his camera around. Although we can't say why he was filming, something unusual caught the viewer's attention. Dashing behind a tree was a strange miniature creature. The creature wasn't far from them and appeared to be fleeing the work site. It was bipedal with large, oddly shaped ears, though the rest of its features are hard to discern. Some suggest it might be an animal capable of standing on two legs, like a small primate or even a kangaroo rat. Others believe it could be fantastical, like a goblin or a forest sprite. With such a brief clip, it's tough to draw a definitive conclusion. But what do you think this mysterious miniature bipedal creature with large ears could be? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. If aliens exist, they might be hiding from us. This footage shows donut-shaped discs in the sky, positioned opposite each other and slanted away from one another. They had a reddish-orange hue and seemed suspended in the air. Many believe these could be UFOs cloaked in clouds, using advanced technology to blend in. However, skeptics argue that these could just be lenticular clouds, which form when moist air flows over mountains or obstacles, creating a lens-like shape that can appear unusual. What do you think? Could those be alien crafts, or are they just clouds? Someone stumbled upon an unusual creature in the park that resembled a bat but was active during the day and exhibited aggressive behavior. As it tried to attack the man filming, it let out a strange growl-like squeak. Bats are typically nocturnal creatures, so encountering one during the day is weird. Its unusual vocalizations and aggressive actions only add to the mystery. While it's possible that the bat's behavior could be due to illness or some disturbance, it's rare for them to act so aggressively in daylight. What do you think this creature could be? Could it be an unusual bat, or is it something else entirely? Imagine driving down the road when suddenly everyone around you stops and exits their cars, all holding their phones. Curious, you look around to see what has captured their attention, and then you see something so astonishing that it's drawing everyone's focus.
Ni idea. A mí no se mueve de ahí.
It's not something you'd expect to see from a typical Boeing fighter jet or any other known aircraft. The way it moves, its appearance, there's just something about it that screams alien origin. Unless the footage is edited, people wouldn't be so captivated by an ordinary plane. After seeing the clip, what do you think? Is this an otherworldly encounter or just an overblown sighting? What's going on here? A driver on the highway was stunned when this passed by. A driver was shocked to see a truck carrying a massive, mysterious object on its trailer. It's difficult to describe, it's enormous, and its material is unclear, with a strange shape that almost seems otherworldly. The internet has been buzzing with theories. Some think it could be a sculpture for an art exhibit or museum, while others wonder if it's secret government equipment or a prototype for a new vehicle. It could even be part of a movie set. Some people, however, believe it's a hoax. What do you think? This footage starts with the person filming zooming in on their target. At first glance, the dense foliage makes it easy to dismiss what we see as just a plant or maybe a squirrel. But as the camera steadies and zooms in, it becomes clear that's not the case. Suddenly, a head emerges. A ghostly, white, skull-like figure peeks out from behind the trees. Its hollow eye sockets and dark facial features give it an eerie, skeletal appearance, like something straight out of the afterlife. Before we can get a better look, the creature notices it's been spotted and quickly retreats behind the trees, never revealing its face again. Could this be a scene reminiscent of Coco's Land of the Dead, a clever costume set up for a shoot, or perhaps even the elusive Breck? Could that really be possible? The footage shows lights in the sky that seem to form some structured pattern, but with the object hidden in the darkness, it's hard to say what it is.
What is that?
Some believe it's a UFO, pointing to the unusual arrangement and behavior of the lights as signs of something extraterrestrial. On the other hand, skeptics suggest it could be a blue beam projection, a technology known to create holographic images in the sky. What do you think? Could this be an alien encounter, or is it just a high-tech light show? I don't understand why people willingly enter abandoned houses. They're often prime spots for paranormal activity. Check out this footage. A woman enters an abandoned building and moves from room to room until she reaches a toilet. Inside the bathroom, black hair appears attached to a head under the seat. Suddenly, the toilet lid slams open and shuts as she gets closer, almost like the entity is warning her to stay away. She cautiously backs off. Who knows what spirits or entities reside in these forgotten places? Would you be brave enough to explore an abandoned house, knowing what could be lurking inside? An individual uploaded an eerie ghost footage from a snowy night. He felt a presence following him in the dark, so he quickly grabbed his phone and turned on the flashlight to capture the moment. Just as he did, he sensed the creature shift behind a tree, trying to hide itself. If I were in that situation, I'd probably run for my life, but this guy had a different idea. Surprisingly, he decided to chase the mysterious creature and film it. He found the tree where the beast had hidden and captured a video. Brace yourself for the reveal. Take a look. That frightening figure? It turns out to be the ghost he was so terrified of. Confused? Don't worry. The cold night played tricks on his mind, turning a harmless puppy into something terrifying. Fortunately, it was just a cute pup out in the cold with him. How would you have reacted in his place? Would you have laughed at the realization or thought you encountered a skinwalker? What is going on with our food? There have been several clips of people discovering odd things in the items they've bought. In one video, a man kicks a bunch of spinach and it begins to swell, which is not typical for spinach.
Really need your help with this one. I was cooking some spinach and one of the leaves just started inflating, and I'm not sure if that's supposed to happen. It kind of looks like plastic. Can somebody tell me what that is?
In another, someone cuts open an avocado, only to find it's made of plastic. Even when they twisted it, it didn't smash, just bent like plastic. Another incident involves a woman finding shards of glass in her chicken breast while preparing it, and someone else noticed that the cheese didn't melt under heat but became harder instead. What is happening with food manufacturing? These incidents, rubbery fruits and vegetables, glass in chicken, and cheese behaving strangely, raise serious concerns about food safety and the overall integrity of the food supply. What do you think is going on? Stepping away from ancient lizards, let's examine astral beings that have been with us since the beginning of time, ghosts. Some of you might scoff at the idea, but look at this security cam clip. The person who uploaded this clip believes that the footage shows ghosts. Fog doesn't typically take on shapes like this, but in this case, it did. And it wasn't just at one spot, but at two different locations. The figures appeared to be moving toward the house, and the uploader mentioned that strange things had been happening at night in the area. These odd occurrences led to the installation of a camera, and this footage, according to the uploader, proves beyond a doubt that at least two ghosts are responsible. At least that's what he believes. What do you think? Are we just seeing things, or are these two figures ghosts? We're heading into the woodlands of Wisconsin. How many creatures can you think of that would stalk a coyote? Now that I think about it, quite a few predators might, but they'd have to be hunters, right? Well, check out this footage. In the video, a coyote is going about its business when, out of nowhere, two eyes appear on the left side of the screen. The coyote notices and turns to look directly at the spot. What was it? A cryptid, a person, or another large animal? We can't say for sure, but what do you think? Is there something there, or is this just a well-done edit designed to trick us? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. There's alleged alien footage from Long Island, New York. Let's check it out. The footage shows a strange figure walking by, holding something in its hands. Upon closer inspection, it appears non-human, with an eerie, alien-like, large, elongated head and big black eyes, matching the typical alien description. The figure is holding a glowing object that seems to be covered. Many viewers immediately speculate that it's an alien holding a baby, though there's no confirmation of any missing children related to the incident. Some believe it could be a demon instead. What's your take on it? Let's step into the realm of the unknown with footage from Mexico that has left people scratching their heads. It all started with a curious Facebook user sharing the video you're seeing. The footage reveals a peculiar sight in the night sky, a strangely shaped light bathed in an orange hue, gently pulsing in the darkness. It's the kind of sight that instantly piques your curiosity. The best part? No one has come up with a reasonable explanation for what this enigmatic light could be, but the intrigue doesn't stop there. In a jaw-dropping twist, this singular light seems to clone itself, duplicating in the sky. Yes, you heard that right. It's as if one mysterious light isn't enough. Let's add another. What could this be? Could it be an alien structure hovering above, or perhaps an as yet unexplained natural phenomenon? We received another puzzling piece of footage. Take a look at it yourself. What do you see when you look at this? The person who sent this footage in believes they've captured none other than the legendary T-Rex. As much as I love dinosaurs, there's no way that's a T-Rex, even if we overlook the size difference and other inconsistencies. What do you make of it? It's no surprise that humans and animals aren't the only inhabitants of Earth, and footage like this proves it. The video, taken from a trail cam in the dead of night, shows two strange figures walking by as if they belong. One appears taller than the other. They seem ghostly, making it difficult to identify them fully. However, both figures have what seems to be a head, which looks inhuman and disturbing, like something from a horror movie. I'm sure the owner of the footage won't look at the forest the same way after seeing this. Who knows what else roams the woods and our streets at night while we're asleep? It certainly makes you wonder. Another mystery emerges in our night skies in an era where strange sightings seem more frequent. One night, A glowing rectangular object resembling the moon, but with a unique shape, was seen in the sky. It's hard to make out since it blends into the sky thoroughly, but becomes more visible as it moves. The term UFO simply refers to an unidentified flying object, and it doesn't necessarily mean it's of extraterrestrial origin. Several possible explanations exist, including atmospheric phenomena, man-made objects, or even natural celestial bodies. While I have my own thoughts on what it could be, I'm curious to hear yours. What do you think this mysterious object might be? This footage was taken this year in Orlando, Florida, where a man noticed a colorful, almost transparent, diamond-shaped object in the sky. The sighting has sparked a lot of debate. Some believe it could be a UFO or an extraterrestrial craft visiting Earth, pointing to the object's unique shape, vibrant colors, and semi-transparent look. On the other hand, skeptics suggest it might be a holographic projection, considering how advanced it is now, and its use in events to create realistic 3D images in the sky. The object's transparency, shimmering, and changing colors could indicate a high-quality hologram. There's also the possibility of Project Bluebeam behind it, though I need to think more. So, what is happening here? We've encountered mysterious tracks along a riverside, which are more significant than you'd expect from a human. The creature that left these tracks must have been pretty heavy, given how deep the prints are. If you look closely at the footage, you'll notice a second print to the left of the foot tracks, which looks like partial handprints. Experts who analyze the image believe they can see a weasel-like print on the foot track. After measuring, they estimate the tracks to be around 18 to 20 feet long. So, what do you think? Could there be a creature with hands and feet that large? Bigfoot is the obvious answer. Maybe the tracks aren't as mysterious as we thought. An unusual phenomenon unfolds in this mesmerizing sky footage, set against the backdrop of a serene blue sky and elegant clouds. We see the clouds moving in a way that feels completely out of the ordinary, leaving everyone who saw it full of questions. It's almost as if the clouds had a mind of their own. Before you entertain all sorts of thoughts, don't be alarmed. What you see could be a fascinating weather phenomenon known as the crown flash. Here's the breakdown. Sunlight passes through tiny ice crystals above a cumulonimbus cloud. These crystals align with the cloud's electric field, and when lightning strikes the cloud, it reorients the ice crystals, creating the unique and surreal crown flash effect. Almost like the clouds are putting on their disco light show. But is that what's happening here? Well, I'll leave it to you to decide. What on earth is that? A creature was caught on a trail cam, and the uploader couldn't understand it. A humanoid figure standing about 6 feet tall appears to be wearing a dress. It has long black hair, and the body resembles an ape but with a dress on. The arms are hairless, with veins visible, and the face, wow, it's pretty unsettling. I don't usually describe creatures as hideous, but this one is creepy. After a closer look, I think these arms aren't quite human or ape-like. While it looked like it could be some kind of ape at first, I'm beginning to think it might be a person in a costume. What do you think? Is this a real creature or just someone in disguise? Let us know in the comments. A puzzling video emerges on Instagram, capturing the attention of intrigued onlookers. In the footage, a strange dark object cruises through the sky. As it moves, something stranger appears in the opposite direction, a glowing orb. But the orb moves faster than the dark object. An incredible transformation unfolds as the radiant orb and the dark object come together. The dark entity seems to be swallowed by the glowing sphere, causing it to grow bigger and glow brighter. The now glowing orb appears to shrink as it continues its journey forward until, poof, it vanishes. Can someone explain what we just saw? You don't need to be a scientist to recognize this isn't natural, but that doesn't automatically mean we know what it could be. The footage is so unbelievable that many have called it fake. What do you think? You might reconsider your approach if you heard a strange noise while exploring the wild, and your first instinct wasn't to run away. There are certainly better choices to investigate. However, the owner of this footage did just that. After hearing a mysterious sound from beneath a cluster of rocks, he decided to get closer and record what he saw. The problem is, we need to figure out what it was. Could it have been an alien or extraterrestrial entity? Or was it a rare land animal, hard to identify due to the poor video quality? While we can't say for sure, we're relieved he didn't try to intervene. Who knows what he could have unleashed on our fragile world? Look at what some believe to be the North American great ape. This footage was captured in a lush green forest. In the forest stands a tall, ape-like creature with brown fur and an angry expression, charging towards something that is provoking it. It appears to be stumbling, mouth wide open, as if anticipating a moment of violence and perhaps secretly wishing for a supernatural escape. It's hard to tell what was going through its mind, but that's one giant ape with surprisingly human features. What's more, it's moving like a human. I don't know about you, but I'm leaning toward the possibility of this being Bigfoot. What do you think? Deep within an unknown forest stands a mysterious tree with the strange ability to devour anything that crosses its path. Suspended from its trunk is a rusted bicycle, defying gravity for over a century. Legend has it that the bicycle once belonged to a young boy who left it on a tree limb and never returned. Over time, the tree has grown around the bicycle, enveloping it in its woody embrace as if guarding its precious relic. The sight of the old, rusted bicycle twisted in the tree's grasp is remarkable. Tourists and bike enthusiasts make their way to this hidden spot, eager to see the phenomenon with their own eyes. As they gaze up at the tree, they can't help but wonder about the story behind the bicycle and the boy who once rode it. Some even claim to sense a mysterious presence in the forest, as though the boy's spirit still lingers, searching for his lost treasure. The mysteries that trail cams reveal are always fascinating. Take this unusual capture, for instance. This footage certainly raises some intriguing questions. The creature defies the animal kingdom's norms and what we typically expect from natural footage. Its zebra-like stripes and human-like limbs make it seem like something out of a fantastical world. The blurred head further adds to the mystery, leaving us with more questions than answers. As you mentioned, the possibility of CGI can't be ruled out, especially since the creature seems almost too perfect in its oddity, like something crafted for shock value or entertainment. On the other hand, the footage's blurry nature and the creature's unfamiliarity could hint at something truly unusual in the natural world, something we just haven't encountered or classified yet. At this point, with more context and confirmation, it's easier to say definitively. It's a valid point to question whether it's CGI, but some real-life discoveries have been equally bizarre and complex to believe at first sight. What do you think? Could this be something new or just a cleverly designed fake? Take a look at this trail cam footage. What do you think? A creature made of light passed by the camera. Many viewers believed it showed an angel delivering a message, caught unaware. I liked that idea until I reviewed the footage again for the 1000th time. Then, something stood out. The light's pattern and movement seemed strange, swaying back and forth as if caught in the wind. That's when I thought, what if the camera captured cobwebs? The light hitting them from such a close angle made them look like this. It made sense, but I couldn't believe it. I felt like I had become one of those science people. I've betrayed the paranormal community, but what do you think? A man was going about his day on his property when he suddenly heard strange noises from the woods. Intrigued and cautious, he grabbed his camera, ready to capture whatever he might encounter. As the man pans his camera through the trees, he spots something far from ordinary, an enigmatic creature lurking in the shadows, adding an unsettling vibe to the moment. This isn't the first time the property owner has sensed something off. He's previously noticed strange movements and heard unusual sounds, an eerie mix of a dog's bark and a child's voice, sparking confusion and curiosity. The mystery deepens, with some speculating it could be a sighting of the legendary Bigfoot, while others, intrigued by the dog-like sounds, suspect it might be the infamous Dog Man. What's clear is that this is one of those mysteries that keeps us wondering, trying to figure out what exactly this creature is. Is it Bigfoot, Dog Man, or something else entirely? The answer is up to you. This footage, captured at night, shows a mysterious golden light in the sky that flickers.
I don't know. It's like something... I don't... You gotta watch this video.
The light grows more prominent and minor, repeating this cycle throughout the video. As the camera focuses on it, the light's behavior becomes stranger. It doesn't move like a plane or helicopter, and the flickering is too consistent to be a star or planet. The changing size makes it look breathing or pulsating. What could this be? Some believe it's a UFO due to its unusual and unpredictable behavior. The size changes and flickering might suggest it's an extraterrestrial craft using technology beyond our understanding. Some in the comments even claim they've seen it too, so before dismissing it as fake, it's worth considering. This video was filmed deep in the Indonesian forest. A woman in white robes is seen standing by a tree, staring directly at the camera. It's the scene that makes you second guess venturing into the woods alone. Locals believe she could be a witch or a spirit. Given the context and local folklore about a witch who matches her appearance, it's easy to see why they might think that. Of course, there are skeptics with alternative explanations, but the true nature of this footage remains a mystery, leaving plenty of room for speculation. I believe there's something paranormal about this woman. What do you think? A group of men on a cruise ship in the Gulf of Mexico filmed some intriguing footage in the sky. After sunset, a group of men aboard a cruise ship in the Gulf of Mexico noticed an orb of light flying across the dark sky. The orb moved smoothly from left to right, then circled back deliberately. The men believed it was a UFO. The bright, steady light stood out against the night sky. It's intriguing to consider in moments like this. Could it be a secret military craft, an advanced drone, or something extraterrestrial? In this picture, captured deep in the woods, something unusual stands out. The image shows a giant creature that makes you question, could this be Bigfoot? Known as a frequent subject of cryptid sightings, Bigfoot often sparks debates. What adds intrigue is the chance that such sightings might sometimes be staged for fun, leaving room for doubt. So, what's your take? Is this an authentic Bigfoot sighting, or just someone in a costume? Share your thoughts. This video might upset some paranormal fans, but it raises some interesting points. The footage shows a creature initially thought to be Bigfoot, but it doesn't quite match the usual description upon closer inspection. A man used facial comparison techniques to analyze the creature's features and proportions, and the results indicated they didn't align with Bigfoot's characteristics. Additionally, how the beast blinked seemed unnatural, unlike how primates blinked. He concluded the creature was likely animatronic, but that doesn't automatically mean all Bigfoot sightings are hoaxes. What's your take on this? There are believed to be countless secrets in this world that the general public is unaware of and may never fully understand. A man made intriguing discovery while examining a 100-euro bill under a microscope. He noticed a tiny disc-shaped object resembling a UFO near the image of a bridge. Continuing his investigation, he zoomed in on the colorful 100 inches inscription and found a picture of an alien head with large black eyes. Further inspection revealed strange vertical markings on another side of the bill, resembling the digital code from the Matrix movie, with a line crossing through them. These unusual details raise questions about their meaning. Are they hidden messages or artistic designs? If you have a 100-euro bill, it might be interesting to check if it contains these mysterious features. The internet is full of strange videos, and some can really leave you scratching your head. Take this security footage, for example. Filmed in the middle of the night, it shows a man running, constantly looking over his shoulder as if something is chasing him. Then, out of nowhere, a terrifying creature appears behind him. The creature looks like a giant insect, but with a long tail, similar to a reptile's. It stalks the man in a creepy, menacing way. The details in the footage, including the creature's shadow, make it tempting to believe it's real. But could it actually be a clever CGI creation? After all, it's hard to imagine a creature like that roaming the streets without causing mass panic. What do you think? History is full of surprises, and this recent discovery is no different. Archaeologists from the National University of San Marcos have uncovered a mummy, not in Egypt, but in an underground tomb in Peru. Found in Cajamarquilla, about 15 miles from Lima, the mummy was carefully wrapped in ropes and placed in a curled-up position, with its hands covering its face. This unique pose, estimated to be between 800 and 1,200 years old, is believed to be part of a southern Peruvian funeral tradition. While the mummy's posture might seem eerie at first, researchers say it offers a glimpse into ancient burial customs. The tomb itself contained more than just the mummy. It held ceramics, vegetable remains, and stone tools, providing a window into the life and culture of that time. It's a touching reminder of the human stories hidden in history. A man is walking through the woods, recording on his phone, when he suddenly sees something that makes him run for his life.
Aujourd'hui, donc je retourne à la maison.
The creature behind it, not wanting to back down, starts chasing after the man, leaving him completely scared. It all happens so fast it's hard to see, but when you slow it down, you spot it, a pale, almost white figure. It seems to be about the same height as the man, maybe even taller, with hollow eyes and a wide-open mouth, giving off a classic alien look. Most alien sightings are calm, but this one? It's got a serious mean streak. Luckily, the guy could really run. Who knows what might have happened if this fast-moving extraterrestrial had caught up with him? So, what do you think about this creepy encounter? Real alien sighting, or just a well-planned scare in the woods? Now, this is what I'd call a fascinating find. This footage, captured in Thailand, shows something truly unusual, a snake covered in fur. One theory is that it could be a water snake or another aquatic reptile covered in algae or plant material, but the exact identity of this creature is still a mystery. What do you think? Is this the real deal, or could it be a prank? And if it's real, what kind of creature could it possibly be? A hunter placed a trail camera in the woods to track wildlife, but when he checked the footage later, he found something completely unexpected. In the footage, a police officer is seen carefully walking through the woods, holding his weapon at the ready. Moments after he moves past the camera, a strange creature appears. The beast looks to be 8 or 9 feet tall, covered head to toe in fur. Naturally, viewers quickly labeled it as Bigfoot. The real question is whether the officer was tracking the creature or if the creature was following the officer. With only this brief footage to go on, it's all left to speculation. What do you think about this puzzling encounter? This next footage is a good reminder of why we shouldn't wander in the woods at night. The video was filmed by an adventurer who decided to explore the forest after dark, a decision I bet he's now regretting. While walking around, he spotted a creepy creature in the woods. It had strange, burnt-looking skin, clawed fingers, and pointed ears. To me, it looks like some kind of demonic dwarf. Not surprisingly, the adventurer didn't stick around to find out more. He ran out of there as quickly as he could. Who knows what else might have been lurking in the dark, or how it would react to him being there. So, does anyone have an idea of what this could be? Or is it time for me to start digging through paranormal stories? Would you dare drive through the woods late at night with friends or family just for the thrill of it? If your answer is yes, you might rethink that after seeing this footage. It begins with a woman screaming, a sound that instantly sets the tone for something bad. Through the cracked windshield, we see a hooded figure standing in front of the car, staring at them with a gaze that feels downright sinister. The broken glass suggests the car hit whatever this thing is, but here's the eerie part. It's still standing, unfazed. Are they screaming because they thought they hit and killed it? Normally, you'd expect someone to get out and check, but no one moves. Then, things take an even darker turn. The hooded figure leaps onto the car's hood, and it's clear this is no ordinary being. It's unharmed, and its behavior is straight out of a horror movie. So, what are we dealing with here? Something human-like, but not human? A shapeshifter? A skinwalker? Maybe even the Grim Reaper? Whatever it is, it's beyond normal. What's your take on this spine-chilling encounter? Let's talk about the anaconda, the largest snake on Earth, growing up to an incredible 9 meters in length. Take a look at this massive one, caught on camera. Its powerful body is built to squeeze the life out of its prey with immense strength. Just the thought of an anaconda is enough to send shivers down your spine. In this footage, we see an anaconda attempting to climb a tree. It's an amazing sight, but unfortunately, the tree can't bear its weight. Considering some of these snakes can weigh up to 150 kilos, it's no surprise. Encountering one in the wild isn't just nerve-wracking. It's a chilling reminder of the sheer power of nature. Ever wonder why some parts of the world stay frozen in ice? If not, don't worry. We've thought about it for you, and it's a good thing to keep in mind. This next story shows why. In 2014, scientists in Siberia found a harmful virus in thawing permafrost, raising big concerns. As ice melts due to climate change, it could release ancient pathogens that have been frozen for centuries. These viruses or bacteria might cause problems for ecosystems and even human health. Experts are worried about what could happen if these long-buried threats come back to life. It's a serious reminder of the risks tied to a warming planet. Imagine dealing with a pandemic worse than COVID-19, caused by something we thought was gone forever. On second thought, let's not imagine that. We don't need it happening. This diver came face to face with death, literally. Just as she was about to dive into the sea, a massive creature emerged from the water. She quickly stepped back and spotted a giant shark with its mouth wide open, seemingly waiting for her to jump right in. Thankfully, her quick thinking and fast retreat saved her from becoming the shark's next meal. It's like a scene straight out of a real-life thriller, a diver narrowly escaping her own version of Jaws. Remember the Miami incident where people were talking about aliens at the mall? Well, a clip has popped up online and someone is saying it's from that event. In the video, you can see two police officers, one standing and the other looking down at something on the ground. One officer is holding a shield labeled Astronomia Police Hellenic Police, indicating this took place in Greece and isn't connected to the Miami alien incident. But if the footage is real and not edited, what kind of creature could it be? How do you explain this video? Christy Penchuk captured footage of a creature running on the water right next to her boat while cruising a river in Alaska. Before you assume it's just shallow water, take a closer look. It's much deeper than it might seem, especially near the boat. Maybe it's shallow on the sides, but definitely not in the middle where the boat is. This footage is hard to dismiss. It looks completely out of this world. Some people suggest it's a cow moose, but let's be honest, this doesn't look like any moose we know. It seems to be an entirely unknown, unexplained creature. What do you think? Is it just a moose, or could it be something much stranger? Share your theories in the comments. The woods seem to be getting more dangerous these days, even making hiking alone a risky activity. Wondering why? Let's check out this next clip. A hiker, lost in the woods while trying to find his way back, noticed something approaching. Thinking it was a panther, he quickly hid. But as it came closer, it turned out to be something far stranger. The creature had a face similar to a dog, with a long snout and dark fur. What made it even more unusual was its posture. It was walking on its hind legs. Luckily, it seemed distracted and didn't notice the hiker, who was only a few steps away. So, what could this creature be? The idea of a dogman or werewolf comes to mind. This hiker's sharp instincts likely saved his life, and he made it home safely. But it raises a question. Is hiking in the woods still safe, or should we start thinking twice before venturing out alone? In 2022, a Texas resident went live on Facebook after hearing some strange sounds.
Hunt the sound down, and I can't find it. It's still like way off in that direction somewhere. You hear that?
The noises started as screeching and screaming, but then shifted into something indescribable. They lasted for quite a while before the man decided to step outside to investigate. He claimed the sound seemed to come from the sky and was extremely loud. He also noted that the weather had been odd all day. Sunshine, rain, hail, and strong winds. He wondered if the unusual weather was connected to the sound, but had no way to confirm it. What do you think this strange sound could be? Let's take a look at something really strange. In this video, someone is holding a small, moving creature in their left hand that looks a bit like a bird. The beak area is especially odd. At first glance, the black and white polka-dotted spots around it almost look like teeth. But teeth on something this young? That's pretty strange, don't you think? What makes it even more unsettling might be the fact that it's a baby bird found outside of its nest, which is unusual on its own. We're not bird experts, but it definitely doesn't seem like birds are supposed to look like this. The person who uploaded the video claimed it's a gold-wattled bat, but a quick search doesn't back that up. It doesn't match the appearance of a young gold-wattled bat at all. So what could it be? An alien? A genetic mutation, or maybe even a new species we haven't seen before? We don't know yet, but whatever it is, it's definitely unusual. What's your take on it? Oh man, this is terrifying. You've got to see this footage. If you've ever watched the movie Life, you'll get why I'm freaking out. This dark blob trying to swallow the crab looks just like Calvin from the movie. Seriously, it's uncanny. Let's hope it's just some internet prank, because if it's real, we could be in for a real-life version of Life, and that's not something anyone is ready for. I dug around a bit and found out it might actually be a marine flatworm. If you've never heard of these things, you might want to look them up now, unless you want to end up saying, "We are Venom." Looks like these fishermen came across a creature that would make anyone stop and think during what was supposed to be a routine fishing trip. In this video, a group of men set out for a normal day of fishing, but nature had other plans. What they reeled in wasn't just any fish. It was a black, flat creature with two sharp fangs sticking out of its mouth, like something straight out of a deep-sea horror story. The clip has gone viral, sparking countless theories and debates. While I could try to explain what this might be, it's way more fun to turn it over to you. So, what do you think? Is this a real species, or just an elaborate hoax? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Sticking with creepy creatures, we head to Japan for our next footage. Before I say more, take a look. My first reaction? What in the world is that thing? The answer became clear as the full creature came into view. At first, the sight of its many tentacles and arms was enough to give me a scare, but on closer inspection, it turned out to be a giant squid. Not your regular squid, but a massive one. This footage was filmed off the coast of Japan and shows an incredible giant squid measuring at least 2.5 meters long. Seafood lovers might be excited at the sight of it, but for anyone unfamiliar with something like this, it could be pretty unsettling. It even brings to mind the legendary kraken from myths and movies. While its size is definitely impressive, let's be real, it's not quite the giant kraken of old tales. So, what's your take? Would this scare you, or would it just make you hungry? We'd love to hear your thoughts. I know what you're thinking. What's going on with this bird? Is it some kind of weird pigeon mutation? Actually, this unique looking bird is called the Dutch cropper. It's not just eye-catching, it has some pretty cool traits too. It's a medium-sized pigeon with a long body, a nicely curved neck, and it holds its head high like it's full of confidence. When it wants to show off or impress other birds, it puffs up a special pouch under its beak, making it look even more stylish. They're actually the largest fancy pigeon breed in the Netherlands and walk around like they're royalty. This bird definitely adds a little flair to the pigeon world. This is something truly strange, moving beyond UFOs into the mysterious world of odd rocks. In different parts of the world, especially in Africa, people have found unusual rocks that spark curiosity. In this video, someone places a nail on one of these rocks, and something unexpected happens. It starts releasing a strange black liquid, almost as if it's bleeding. This raises a lot of questions. Rocks aren't supposed to do that, and it goes against everything we know about geology. Where did this rock come from? What's causing the black liquid to flow out? Could it be hiding secrets that challenge what we know about the natural world? Get ready for another chilling encounter caught on camera. This time, a fearless passerby heard strange noises coming from deep in the woods and decided to investigate. Now, if it were me, I'd be running the other way, but this brave person had other plans. Armed with a camera and a flashlight, they moved closer to the source of the creepy sounds. With every step, the noises became louder and more unsettling. Then, right behind a tree, the camera caught something that would make anyone freeze in fear. There it was, a pale, almost human-like creature crouched on all fours. Sadly, we don't have much more to go on, as the person's survival instincts kicked in and they ran for their life. The identity of this creature is still a mystery, sparking plenty of theories. Some think it could be a rake, a legendary creature from horror stories. Others believe it might be a skinwalker, known for shifting forms. And then there's the idea that it could be a wild human, someone who's been living away from civilization for too long. Whatever it is, it's too soon to say for sure. What do you think? Kangaroos can be pretty aggressive in the wild, and they're known to grab onto anything that gets too close. In this case, a man was out with his 3 dogs when he noticed one was missing. He went looking for it and found it in a river, being held tightly by a kangaroo. The kangaroo had the dog's neck in a firm grip, and the poor dog was struggling to breathe. Thankfully, the owner got there just in time to save his pet, but not without trouble. The kangaroo knocked his phone into the water and even tried to attack him. Despite the chaos, the man managed to get all 3 dogs to safety. One of the dogs was left gasping for air, and the owner ended up with some scratches from the kangaroo's claws. On the edge of town, 3 men set out on a nighttime adventure into the woods, hoping to find something unusual, a true exploration. You might wonder, as I did, why they'd pick the middle of the night for this. Armed with a camera and a light to guide their way, they ventured deeper, unaware that their journey would bring them face to face with something far from ordinary. Their exploration was going smoothly until they were suddenly stopped in their tracks. In the middle of the woods, they stumbled upon a lifeless body on the ground. Standing over it was a strange creature with large goat horns, a goat-like face, and a human-like body. Startled by being caught, the creature casually waved its hand before returning to its meal. It's hard not to think this might be a hoax. The creature's wave felt oddly human, almost like a mascot performing for an audience. It leaves plenty of questions about whether this encounter was real or staged. Imagine this, you're out for a relaxing walk when you suddenly see the legendary Yeti casually doing push-ups on a hill. Sounds completely wild, doesn't it? Well, guess what? We've got the footage to prove it. This footage was reportedly taken by an adventurer exploring a remote mountain range in a cold region. Interestingly, the adventurer hasn't shared the exact location, likely for safety reasons. If you're not familiar, spotting a person on a mountain peak is extremely rare. Unless, of course, the person is as big as a small house. The figure in the footage is massive, making it hard to believe it's just a human. According to the uploader, this area is known for Yeti sightings, though solid proof has always been scarce. They claim this video is the most convincing evidence we've seen in a while. But seriously, why would a Yeti be doing push-ups? Maybe it's dealing with a tough breakup, or am I just overthinking it? Either way, we'd love to hear what you think. Is this the real deal, or is someone just pulling our leg? Is nature pulling a magic trick on us? A man was driving past a field when he noticed something unusual. Through his car window, he saw a brush fire burning. Curious, he stopped to take a closer look, but that's when things got weird. When he looked directly at the field, the fire was gone. Yet, as soon as he got back in the car and looked through the window, the fire reappeared. Using his bare eyes, it was nowhere to be seen, but through the glass, it was clearly there. How is this even possible? Honestly, no one knows. Even David Blaine would probably be stumped by this bizarre mystery. This next clip is definitely a strange one. It shows a man holding out his hand as it starts turning white, which is far from normal. Unfortunately, there's no context for the footage, leaving us to guess what's going on. Some viewers have suggested the rods phenomenon, where blood vessels constrict due to cold weather. While it sounds like a good explanation, a quick search shows it's not the case. Others think the man may have used a solvent on his hand, causing extreme dryness and discoloration. Some even believe it could be a reaction to gas. Any experts out there have an idea of what might be happening? A group of men stumbled upon a bizarre-looking creature that resembled a snake, but with 4 lips. On closer inspection, it's clear this thing is anything but ordinary. It's unlike any reptile we've ever seen. If anything, it looks like some kind of hybrid between a snake and a lizard. Its long, crooked neck adds to its strange appearance. But here's the kicker. Unlike most snakes, it doesn't flick its tongue around. It just sits there, keeping things low-key. Now, whether this creature is genuinely chill and hanging out with the guys or completely terrified, it's hard to say. I mean, imagine being discovered by a group of strangers. You'd probably be giving them the side eye too, right? The next footage might just blow your mind. A man noticed some strange things floating around his brother's house. They looked like smoke, but they were glowing and had these odd shapes. The weirdest part, they seemed frozen in time, which isn't how smoke is supposed to behave. He says they just appeared out of nowhere. And when you watch the footage, there's no clear explanation for what they are. The man insists it's not a hoax or CGI. They don't have the skills, equipment, or money to pull off something like that. So, what do you think is going on here? Sometimes, I like to play Clueless so you guys can fill me in, but this isn't one of those times. I genuinely have no idea what the creature in this next clip is, and I'm hoping you can help. It doesn't look like anything familiar. None of my team has a clue, and I've searched the internet but couldn't even figure out how to describe it properly. The person filming the footage is wearing gloves, which makes me think it's either poisonous or venomous. But what is it really? If you've got answers, please share them in the comments. We're genuinely curious to solve this mystery. What was supposed to be a peaceful bonding moment between a father and his son turned into a terrifying dash out of the woods. They had gone for a walk to enjoy nature, and while they were relaxing in a spot, the man heard footsteps behind him. Curious and a little uneasy, he pulled out his camera to take a look around. That's when he spotted a dark figure just a few feet away. He couldn't make out what it was, but something inside him screamed danger. Without hesitation, he told his son to start running while he followed close behind. They ran until they felt they'd put enough distance between them and whatever it was. When he glanced back, the figure was still there, trailing behind. Thankfully, they managed to escape. To this day, no one knows what they encountered, but the man's gut feeling likely saved them from something unsafe. Do horned men actually exist? If your answer is no, this next footage might just change your mind. Check it out. Imagine a well-built guy strutting around with what looks like an actual horn sticking out of his head, paired with a skirt made of dried leaves. Talk about making a bold fashion statement. See what I did there? Keeping it cool and casual? Props to me. Now, you're probably wondering, can humans even grow horns? Fair question, and the answers are all over the place. While it's definitely not natural, it doesn't mean it's impossible. Here we are, looking at a man who seems to have horns. Could he be part of a different species? Or maybe Mother Nature decided to shake things up with a little twist? Of course, there's another angle to consider: culture. In some parts of the world, body modifications are deeply rooted in tradition, and maybe this is one of them. But since we can't confirm that, all we can do is theorize and wonder. So, what's your take on this mysterious horned man? What do we have here? A possessed insect? That's exactly what I thought at first glance, but it turns out this odd-looking creature is called a wasp-maned fly. Picture a wasp and a praying mantis teaming up to create something straight out of an insect mashup. That's the wasp-maned fly. It has the slim, sleek body of a wasp, but its front legs are pure mantis style. It's like nature decided to mix things up for fun, and it's not just looks, it's also a predator. This little guy goes full ninja when it's hunting, using those mantis-like legs to grab small insects and larvae with incredible precision. But here's the kicker. The wasp-maned fly has a clever disguise. It mimics the yellow and black colors of a wasp to fool predators and even its prey. In the insect world, this is definitely one critter you wouldn't want to mess with. A woman and her kids decided to enjoy a relaxing day in the woods, just having some fun. But that fun quickly turned to fear when the woman spotted a massive creature lurking among the trees. It had dark fur, huge muscular arms, and seemed to be stalking them. Panicked, the woman called her kids to stay close. Once the creature realized it had been seen, it took off into the woods. It resembled Bigfoot, but its head had an unusual shape that didn't quite match the typical description. And while Bigfoot is known for having big arms, these were extraordinarily muscular, almost unnatural. So what could it be? Bigfoot's gym buddy? Or perhaps a whole new mystery creature in the woods? Not wanting to take any risks, the mom quickly gathered her kids and hurried back to the car. Something tells me they won't be planning another woodland outing anytime soon. This footage has been making the rounds online for a while now, and honestly, it's anxiety-inducing every time I see it. In the clip, a group of thrill seekers decides to turn the iconic Montello Dam into their personal swimming pool. They're splashing around, having the time of their lives, when one of them takes a bad slip and ends up sliding straight into the glory hole. For those who don't know, the glory hole isn't some harmless water feature. It's a critical part of the dam, controlling water flow in and out. Why anyone thought swimming there was a good idea is beyond me. Hopefully, next time they'll opt for safer waters, like a regular pool, or literally anywhere that isn't a dam with a name like Glory Hole. Here's another moment that makes us wonder what Mother Nature is up to. A boat went out fishing and came across an unusual guest. It looked like a catfish at first, but when one of the men poked at it, they realized something was off. It didn't have fins. Instead, it had crab claws. Knowing this wasn't a normal fish, the man pushed it back into the water, but strangely, the creature seemed to enjoy being out of the water, almost like it was trying to make a point before swimming off. So, what kind of fish was this? A fish with crab claws isn't something you see every day. Could this be a new species? Or some weird mix between a crab and a mudfish? Honestly, I can't think of any explanation that makes sense. What do you think? Now get ready for a dose of the bizarre. A group of people managed to capture something on camera that looks like it's straight out of the Matrix.
Yo, the sky is blue! And then it turned off!
I got that on camera. I got that on camera. I got that on camera.
They're outside, casually filming the bright blue sky when, out of nowhere, it's like someone flipped a switch. Daylight vanishes, and the sky turns pitch black, as if night fell in an instant. So, how could this happen? It's a real head-scratcher. A sudden shift like this defies everything we know about how day and night work. Is it a glitch in Asterisk, the Matrix Asterisk, a camera malfunction, or maybe just an optical illusion messing with our sense of time and space? What's your take? For our next clip, get ready for some unexpected weather drama right in someone's backyard shed. Picture this, you're casually rummaging around, maybe looking for a hammer or just daydreaming, when suddenly you witness the weather event of the century, a mini whirlwind forming right before your eyes. This swirling column of white smoke appears to twirl down from the ceiling, and it's nothing short of mesmerizing. I'm no meteorologist, but this definitely isn't how these things are supposed to form. So, what's the deal? Is it a natural occurrence, or is something else at play? Who would have thought your shed could host its own weather phenomena? A night vision camera in Peru caught something strange, a creature with an unusually large head and a thin body. It's hard not to think of Megamind, but he's fictional, right? This, however, seems very real. Unsurprisingly, many who saw the footage immediately thought it was an alien. The big question is this actual footage of an alien in Peru, or is there another explanation for this glowing figure? Skeptics argue it's just a hoax, and while that might sound dismissive to those who believe in aliens, their doubts are understandable. So, what do you think? Is this an alien encounter, or is there a more logical explanation for this glowing mystery? Share your thoughts on what this could really be. Driving late at night on empty highways can feel unsettling, but spotting something unusual on the road can turn eerie into downright chilling. A woman was driving alone on an empty highway when her headlights caught a mysterious figure walking in the dark. The figure was dressed in a white robe, their face hidden in the shadows. At first, the sight sent a wave of fear through her. Any encounter on a deserted road can feel eerie, but her curiosity and compassion got the better of her, and she decided to turn around to take a closer look. When she returned, she realized it was a woman. The whole encounter was strange and unsettling, leaving her with endless questions. What was this woman doing out there, dressed like that? Was there a reason behind it, or was it just a creepy coincidence? Imagine heading out to take the trash when something falls out of the bag. A massive head of some unknown beast, mouth wide open, sharp teeth, ready to snap at your hand. The guy in the video tries poking it with a stick, but the creature snarls back, clearly not amused. It's pretty obvious this isn't real. It's got all the signs of a classic Halloween prank. But wow, does it deliver a good scare? A trash bag turning into a scene from a creature feature? Who would have guessed? Picture this. You wake up, head to your farm to start your day, and suddenly come across a gigantic bone. That's exactly what happened to this farmer. Check out the massive bone he found in his field.
Ah, no manches. Esto es un hueso. Es un hueso.
I'm totally baffled about what kind of bone this could be. My first thought was dinosaurs, but they're supposed to be extinct. Or are they? Could it belong to some unknown, otherworldly creature? The possibilities are endless. What's your take on this? Nature's at it again, throwing us something totally unexpected. Ants hosting what looks like a forest dance party. Picture this. You're out in the woods and stumble upon a group of ants moving in a perfect circle around a strange white stone. Animals are usually nature's warning signals, so seeing ants act like they've turned the forest floor into their personal dance floor is definitely puzzling. They're all focused on the stone, and to make things even weirder, there's some mysterious white fluid on the grass nearby. What's going on here? Is it an ant rave, a secret meeting of the insect council, or some kind of ritual to summon ant gods? Or maybe, just maybe, it's the most organized ant picnic ever. Up next, brace yourself for a creepy encounter with a strange figure spotted on a rock. Theories are flying, with some saying it could be a witch or a jinn, a term in Arabic for a ghostly being. But is it truly something supernatural, or is there a more logical explanation? What's your take on this eerie sight? Seeing animals perched on trees is pretty normal, but this left me completely amazed. Turns out, goats are incredible climbers too. The location of the video is unclear, but the camera was perfectly placed to catch this jaw-dropping sight. White goats scaling a tall palm tree like it's no big deal. It really makes you wonder, are these goats specially trained for this? Or is it just their natural talent? And no, the camera isn't upside down. The palm tree stands tall, even if it has a bit of a slant or curve to it. Yes, I just described a tree as curvy, but you get the point, right? If you know anything about goats, you know they love to climb, but palm trees, that's next level. It's hard to wrap your head around it, even though we all know goats are born adventurers. Absolutely wild. Picture this, you're in the woods and you start hearing strange noises, even though you're certain you're alone. Most people would leave immediately, right? But not the person behind this video. Instead, they decide to investigate the source of the sound. And that's when they come across something truly bizarre. A naked man crawling through the mud with dirt covering parts of his body. It makes you wonder, how did he end up there? And why is he crawling like that? Is it some kind of trap to lure in curious explorers? Or is the whole thing just staged for views? There's no way to know for sure since there's no follow-up or explanation. What's your take on it? Do you believe in Bigfoot? If not, this video might make you think twice. Take a look. This supposed Bigfoot sighting happened in Poland. What do you think about it? Let us know in the comments. A couple in California experienced a ghostly encounter that's hard to forget. They had a baby monitor set up in their little one's room, but while watching the footage on a separate camera from their living room, something downright creepy happened. A ghostly hand suddenly appeared, waved at the camera, and then vanished just as quickly. You'd expect most people to freak out and maybe even leave the house, but not this couple. Surprisingly, they weren't rattled at all. Why? They believe their house is haunted and say this isn't the first strange thing they've witnessed. Instead of running, they're actually preparing for an exorcism. What do you make of this? I'm sure most of you have seen shapes in the clouds before. Faces, animals, that kind of thing. But in this video, there are clearly 5 fingers formed in the clouds. Have you ever seen the Rolex logo? Because the way these clouds are shaped looks a lot like it. So, is this just a clever marketing trick, or could it mean something more? Some people think it might be a sign from aliens, and there's even talk that scientists might know what it's all about. What do you think about this strange sight? Let us know in the comments. Next up, we have some truly puzzling footage that you won't want to miss. Take a look. This trail cam captures a fleeting glimpse of a black creature making its way deeper into the woods. At first glance, it bears a striking resemblance to the legendary Sasquatch, or Bigfoot. With black fur and a sturdy, humanoid build, the similarities are hard to ignore. The uploader also noted that the creature was moving quickly, almost as if it was trying to avoid being seen. You might be thinking, could it just be a local ape? But here's the catch. There are no apes in the area where this footage was recorded. That leaves us with one possibility. This could actually be the real deal, unless, of course, it's an elaborate hoax, though I hope that's not the case. This footage, reportedly from the International Space Station, shows a strange object speeding across the sky. The object is shaped like a V, which sets it apart from the typical crafts usually spotted in the sky. Some might suggest it's a drone, but this thing is massive, about the size of a passenger plane. Have you ever seen a drone that big? Seems unlikely. So, what are we looking at here? Is it a real unidentified flying object? Or is there a simpler explanation for this V-shaped mystery in space? Picture this, you buy a pet turtle, and one day, you walk in to find it floating above your tiled floor. What's going on? Are animals practicing magic now? At first, you might notice what looks like rags wrapped around its legs, but take another look. Do you see it? Those rags actually resemble tiny humans swimming alongside the turtle. Could these beings be the ones causing all the strange occurrences? Or is the turtle actually in charge, with them carrying out its will? It's tough to say, and there doesn't seem to be anything like this mentioned in paranormal books. Does anyone out there have an explanation for this? Speaking of massive creatures, take a close look at this next one. Yes, that's a wolf, but not just any wolf. This one is enormous, far from the usual size you'd expect. In the footage, it seems to be casually wandering around the area, almost as if it's enjoying itself. At first glance, the footage seems to show a normal-sized wolf, but as the camera gets closer and the wolf approaches, it quickly becomes clear that this is no ordinary wolf. Are wolves this size even documented? Initially, we didn't think so, but there's a cryptid called the saber wolf, or Wahila, said to roam the northwestern United States. And guess where this footage was reportedly captured? Alaska, which, yes, falls within that region. So, could this be the real deal, or is there another explanation? Let us know what you think in the comments. And if you're from Alaska, have you ever seen or even heard stories about these creatures? We'd love to hear from you, even if your answer is no. Remember those kids who used to ring your doorbell and run away? What if you had a camera to catch them in the act? That's probably what the owner of this door cam had in mind when they set it up. In this footage, a strange light approaches the door, and as soon as it reaches it, the doorbell starts ringing. But here's the weird part. It's not a one-time thing. The light keeps showing up and ringing the bell multiple times, leaving you with more questions than answers. What is this light, and why is it ringing the bell? The owner was just as baffled and shared the footage online, hoping for answers. Most viewers were shocked and immediately thought it had to be a ghost. I can't lie, I'm leaning toward that theory too. But some paranormal enthusiasts think it could be something like a bug or a cobweb. However, that doesn't really explain why the bell rings. So, what do you think? Are we looking at a ghostly visitor, a bug, or maybe even a clever hoax? Share your thoughts in the comments. Up next, we have astonishing footage from Brazil. This captivating video shows a glowing figure standing in a field, radiating an unearthly light. The true identity of this being remains unknown, leaving viewers baffled. Interestingly, the area is known for frequent UFO sightings, leading some locals to speculate that the glowing figure might be an alien visitor. The footage, taken from a distance, makes it hard to distinguish specific details. Even so, the figure's upright posture and visible arms suggest it stands on two legs, with what appears to be a head at the top. Some have even compared it to an angel, though the lack of wings raises questions, unless, of course, we consider the idea of wingless angels. Local residents claim this glowing figure has appeared multiple times, becoming a familiar yet unexplained presence. However, whether it's truly an extraterrestrial being or simply a reflective object creating an illusion remains uncertain. What do you think? If you thought the last video was unbelievable, just wait until you see this one. In this footage, a black figure is being softly coaxed to sleep. If that isn't strange enough, a few seconds in, it actually seems to be working. The tiny creature has human-like hands, complete with black nails, though its fingers are smaller than a human's. Its face is a mix of cream and pink, with eyes that open and close to reveal black pupils. It seems to be fighting to stay awake, almost as if it doesn't want to give in without a final laugh. But what kind of creature is this? You might guess monkey or ape, and you wouldn't be entirely wrong, but I'd argue otherwise. To me, it looks like a baby Bigfoot. What do you think? I know what you're thinking. Aliens, right? And honestly, I don't blame you. Just look at how they move. It's hard to believe any military aircraft we know of could perform like that. So, could these really be aliens? Some in the paranormal community suggest these could be drones, but let's be real, these look like crafts moving at incredible speeds. Considering how human-made crafts are typically built and operate, this seems like it could either be something experimental or extraterrestrial. What do you think? Aliens, military drones, or something else entirely? Now, picture yourself in the woods with a friend or a loved one when you suddenly begin to hear strange noises.
Hello? Is anybody there? I'm so nervous. What was that?
I don't know.
Do you need help?
That's exactly what happens to the couple in this footage. So, what did they do? Instead of leaving for a safer spot, they chose to investigate. They called out toward the source of the sounds and got a response. However, the reply didn't sound human. Even after listening to it multiple times, we still can't figure out what it could be. After that, they did what anyone would in such a situation. They ran as fast as they could to get out of there. Honestly, I can't blame them. It seems like the smartest choice, don't you agree? Imagine this amazing scene. A smoky figure, ghostly and mysterious, floating calmly over a quiet lake. Just when you think it's done, the figure fades away, only for another one to appear and do the same. It's the kind of sight that can either leave you amazed or give you chills. Depends on how you look at it. Of course, like with any unusual sighting, skeptics have their theories. Some say it's not anything supernatural, but just a device creating these smoke-like shapes to make the lake seem more magical than it really is. We're in British Columbia, where a fisherman shared this footage after discovering some tracks by the riverside. The soft soil had perfectly captured 3 distinct prints. Surrounding them were several other footprints, all much larger than his size 10 feet. These tracks measured about 15 inches or more and were deeply imprinted in the ground. This fisherman isn't new to such sightings. He's come across these tracks regularly and firmly believes that Bigfoot roams the area. Now that you've seen the evidence, what's your take? Could Bigfoot be calling this place home? Sometimes you come across something that completely messes with your sense of reality, and this footage is a great example. The video shows 2 tall buildings, almost like giant bookends, with a truck positioned between them. At first, it seems like an ordinary urban scene, but a closer look at the truck reveals something surreal. The truck appears to be defying gravity, seemingly parked on the side of one of the buildings, pointing straight up toward the sky. This optical illusion is so mind-bending that it makes you stop and question what you're seeing. While there's probably a logical explanation, maybe it's the camera angle or the way the buildings are designed, it's still an incredible visual puzzle that leaves you feeling amazed and a little disoriented. It's like my brain is doing flips trying to figure it out. Now, we head to the mountains of Romania. This is one of those accidental moments where someone captures something unusual without realizing it until later. Here's the photo he took. If you look closely behind the pile of twigs, you'll see a creature that looks remarkably like a primate. Even without zooming in, it's hard not to picture Bigfoot in your mind. As fascinating as this find is, it raises questions. Why was Bigfoot there? Was he following the man? Did they just happen to cross paths? Or was there something more going on? Whatever the case, the man was lucky that, despite being so close to the creature, nothing strange or dangerous happened, even if Bigfoot isn't known for being violent. The number of mythical creature sightings lately is truly unsettling. In this footage, a man films two individuals dressed head to toe in yellow protective gear approaching a river. They were holding a net, but their unusual attire wasn't exactly what you'd expect for a casual fishing trip, raising suspicion that something strange was happening. The person filming decided to hide and watch as the two men waded into the shallow water to retrieve something. Using the net, they brought it to shore, and that's when things took a bizarre turn. A long fishtail, strikingly similar to a stereotypical mermaid's, dropped down as they laid the creature on the ground. Did these men actually catch a mermaid? Seeing the vibrant tail, it makes you wonder, could the creatures from The Little Mermaid be more real than we thought? And if so, could they pose a threat to us? Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can stay updated with our latest videos.